It's Subtone, getting closer to Jonathan Ulysses. So, what do you like to do on your day off?
On my day off, I like to spend time with my family, relaxing and playing with my two little boys.
How often do you get a day off?
I get a lot of days off. Because I'm self-employed, I can pick and choose when I work. Obviously I work weekends, so that's pretty much out of the picture. But then also, I've got my own record label, You Live Like Music, and I do a lot of stuff in the studio. So, and then when I'm not in the studio, the DJing prospectus has kind of changed a lot in the last 20 years, and because of like on the internet and things like SoundCloud, YouTube, Facebook and so on, I'm constantly online, generally doing something or another. If not promoting your music, promoting a particular party that you're playing at, or an event, or promoting a track or something like this. So generally, you kind of pick and choose your times. Maybe Monday, it's quite a hangover from the weekend. Yeah, you know, generally you kind of pick your times, but you know, there isn't, you know, any particular time that you can sort of say is time off, because even, you know, sometimes I can be sat on the computer at 3 in the morning doing stuff, because obviously as an international DJ, you have to take into consideration that at 3 o'clock in the morning here could be 2 o'clock in the day somewhere else around the world. So I think, you know, pick your times really.
Okay. So, what's your idea of a good night out?
Idea of a good night out is...
Do you get many nights out? Because obviously...
Yeah, I do, but I think the idea of a good night out is probably not remembering exactly what happened. So if you don't remember what happened, then you know that was a really good night.
Do you and Camilla go out a lot together when you get in?
Yeah, we go out together as best as we can, but obviously it's always good to be in the nightclubs, networking. Generally, I mean, obviously I work in Ibiza, and like everyone is in Ibiza for 3 to 4 months of the year, and you know, you can just be sat at Mambo's and Sasha could be sat over there, Eric Morello could be sat somewhere else, or Eric Morello's manager could be sat somewhere else, or so there's always the opportunity to network. And I am Boy Scout, I always have a business card available just in case.
So what would be your favourite club? Would it be one in Ibiza?
Yeah, my favourite club would be Space in Ibiza, most definitely. I've been there for, well, this summer will be my 17th season. I know that doesn't look it, but it will be my 17th season, and I've had some great memories there, and it sort of gave me the opportunity to express myself musically and to, you know, be where I am today. Obviously, you know, my own hard work instilled in that, but Space has kind of given me that. But then I've played all over the world. I've played in many clubs. The Edge in Brazil is really good. Green Valley is another club that's fantastic. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I could go on and on about so many great clubs. Cocoon in Germany, which I think is closing down actually, but that's another fantastic club to play in. So yeah, but I think if I had to put a club at the top of my list, I've got to be biased and say it's Space.
So did you always want to be this when, like, did you always want to be a DJ from like a young age?
No, not really, to be honest with you, but I was always DJing from a young age. But when I was DJing earlier on, I never really knew what it could become. And you know, I used to sort of play at like kind of weddings, birthday parties, that kind of thing. You know, you'd have a deck, one guy on a mic, an amp, an equalizer, and a room with about 50 to 100 people. And we used to play R&B and hip hop and soul and reggae and rare grooves, that kind of thing. And then I sort of left DJing and did other things, but it kind of sort of found me, if that kind of makes any sense. And every time I sort of turned my back on it, it sort of found me again. And then I just kind of succumbed, and yeah, you know, you've got to succumb to things like that, you know. And, yeah, you know, over 20 years now I've been doing it, and it's still it.
What would you say is the best or the worst thing that's been written about you?
I don't really pay attention to anything that's been negative, really. I don't really see the point of paying attention to the negative. Yeah, you know, everyone has their own opinion. We live in a free society.
Yeah.
You know, people can say what they want to say. The best thing that's been said about me, I've got cool hair, I suppose. You know, I don't really pay attention really in that sense. You know, even, you know, something that may be positive, it could be something positive for someone else's motive, for someone else's own motives. So for me, I just think you just gotta just keep on taking steps forward, and whether it's positive or negative, you just find your own way and just keep on stepping forward.
I suppose the fact you keep getting booked is a positive as well, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's the main thing for the career.
Exactly, but you know, if you know, there are other DJs that have been around longer than me that aren't around anymore, because okay, music changes, society changes, ideas change, but at the end of the day, you know, if people are still interested in what you do, and interested in booking you, and interested in listening to your music, and interested in taking in what you have to give, then that's got to be a positive thing, and I think it's better to look upon the positive than the negative.
So is there anyone that's inspired you, like, through your DJ?
Yeah, actually. Cole Cox is a really big inspiration. Like, I think he's the ultimate DJ. I think that musically he's very adaptable to where he's playing around the world. Roger Sanchez is a really big influence. You know, for his constant positivity about music and always moving forward musically. And actually Tony Blackburn, funny enough. I used to go to a club called The National years ago. I was only 14 actually, and I shouldn't have even been in there, but I just kind of liked his way with people. I thought he was very, it didn't matter who you were, and he'd do some stupid stuff on stage, like get on stage like a leotard and do some silly stuff. But you know, I just thought he was, a real good people person, and I just thought that he played great music on the radio, like kind of soul and that sort of thing. And you know, he chatted to people on the radio, and I just thought he was a very nice guy. Like he was just like be at a bus stop and he'd sit down and you'd be like, alright mate, how you doing? Yeah. And he'd just be interested in what you had to say, rather than just interested in himself as a DJ. And that's what he is. So yeah, that's a three people.
So what can we expect from you in the future year or past that?
Yeah, well, I've just set up my label, You Live Up Music. Got artists like The Beat Thieves, Rio De Luna, and Jem K, Ron Kushti. It's going to be a deep house and tech house label, and where, I mean, okay, there's a lot of labels out there at the moment. I'm also going to be producing stuff myself and putting my own music onto the label. And yeah, I'm just going to kind of give it some legs and see what happens with that. It's quite an interesting project, I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to continue to travel the globe and DJ, you know, around the globe. I mean, we've got New Zealand coming up, we've got Australia coming up, we've got Dubai coming up, we've got things around Germany, residency in Italy, Austria, things around the UK, Ibiza as well for space, and also the world tour for space as well. So actually, yeah, you're going to see a lot of me. I ain't going anywhere.
So did you have a moment when you decided like DJing is what I want to do, or like how you said that it found you? Was there a point where you thought?
Yeah, it was. I'd basically been doing a bit of DJing in Ibiza actually, because I DJed a bit in Greece, and I DJed a bit in Andorra, and I DJed a bit in Austria, and then a couple of things like in the UK previous to that, and then I was working on a building site actually, and I had to scrape this stuff off the walls, off the roof and the walls. I was sat on this ladder and I met this guy and we were chatting and we was talking about music and how much we enjoyed the music. And I think I just thought to myself, you know, all the work that I'm putting into scraping this stuff off the roof, like if I put half of that effort into, you know, projecting my career, DJing a little bit further, then I can make things happen. I can make a little bit of make a living. I can earn some dough. Just.
How old were you when you thought that?
I would say I was about 22, 23, and I just thought, you know, I've got like a couple of grand in the bank at best. I can use that money to finance myself, and then I can go back to Ibiza, you know. And then in the end, I just one day I just sort of like, my pal was the one that sort of got me doing this building site stuff, and I said, look mate, I just can't do this anymore. I don't want to do it anymore, so I'm gonna really concentrate on the DJing. And then I did, and I literally went to clubs around London and saw promoters, and just everywhere I went I was giving out business cards, I was giving out tapes, I think it was tapes and CDs then, giving out tapes, giving out CDs. Everywhere I went I was just constantly pushing myself, and I'd go to the nightclubs and I'd meet someone and I'd constantly badgering on.
So would you say like networking is the best way to like...
I mean, then it's different now because obviously you've got online, you've got Twitter and Facebook and all that kind of thing, but then, you know, when you didn't have that sort of, that network, it really was like boots on the ground. It was boots on the ground, and you had to be out there, you had to be seen on the scene in London, which I was in all the clubs in London, and you know, you've got a bit here, you know, you meet one promoter, you play for him, and then other people hear you play, and then two promoters might be in there, and so on and so on. It was just like a kind of a pyramid sort of like system, really, and and then that kind of just seemed to work for me. I just thought, okay, well, if I could just do at least this, then, you know, at least I'm giving it a go at doing something that I want to do, and that's when I decided that, you know, this is what I want to do, and here you go.
So, obviously you do quite a bit of travelling. Are there any foods or like things that you have to have with you?
Not particularly. Some red wine on a long flight always helps.
What's the strangest, because obviously you've been to like so many countries, what's the strangest food you've ever had to eat?
Sushi actually.
Sushi's good.
Ooh. Sushi in San Francisco. Sushi in San Francisco, and I didn't like it, so all the other DJs were eating the sushi, and I'm going to that pizza place.
And what were you doing at 6 p.m. last Sunday?
6 p.m. last Sunday.
Last Sunday evening.
I think I don't know, what was I doing 6 p.m. I think I was flying back in from somewhere, wasn't I? I was flying back in from Austria.
Austria.
Yeah, I was flying back in from Austria. I was flying back in from Austria.
You were on the drive home from Heathrow.
Yeah, so I was flying back in from Austria, driving back from Heathrow, listening to Tony Blackburn.
How long have you been in Austria for?
I was just there for the weekend. I was doing a small club over there, and it was good fun, like, you know. I was in a small club over there, Holt's Garden, just a small club, like, you know, 800 people. And it was a good little gig. Probably had one or two of these that I probably shouldn't have. And but lucky enough, I did have some paracetamols to sort of get me through the flight on the way home. And then I sort of came home and fell asleep on the sofa. My little kids jumping all over me. There you go.
Well, Sophie, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.